Well, we're live, sir.
All right, let's get it.
All right, guys. Hi, my name is Erik King. As you are watching, you're seeing my YouTube there has a lot of military-related content. I wanted to bring some context to that. So this is going to be my podcast. Not really sure where this is going, guys. So subscribe, hit the like button, and then see where this ends up. Because I think there's going to be some good content on here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have some pretty solid people on there that I've served with or known, and who also have served or who maybe not served. I'm the veteran here, so who cares? I mean, it's going to be fun, guys. So, yeah, like I said, like, subscribe. I really appreciate that, and let's really get this thing. Yeah, let's get this thing started. So, I was an Army medic. I deployed to Afghanistan right out of basic training. Essentially, I got introduced to this man here, Jamison. So this is my first real squad leader, I guess. And,
Hi, friends.
yeah, it's he showed me a lot and helped me, introduced me to how to really operate in the Army, and I appreciate that. And so we did a tour with this guy here and came back, got out, threw my stuff on YouTube and did a lot of stuff since then. Started a business and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, man, I have a lot everybody. I have a lot going on, and I wanted to share my insights with life and struggles and how to overcome things and failures and all the good stuff that people like to hear. So, yeah. Now on to you, sir.
All right. I was a 19 Delta or a scout in the Army. Basically, everyone says.
What's your name, sir?
My name's Sargent Jamison. You can call me that. No, I'm just kidding. My name's Chris.
Sergeant.
Yeah. So I was a 19 Delta, which is basically an 11 Bravo on steroids for those bang bangs out there that think that they know everything. It's like, dude, I operated with you, I operated around you, and dismounting is part of my skill set, not the whole thing. Just throwing a little shade. I respect all veterans. It doesn't matter their MOS or anything.
Sure.
Anyone that's served has done it, except for those fobbits that buy all the shit before you can get it, and you come back and you can't get the cigarettes you want or the fucking Red Bulls you need. Other than that, anyway, we're not going to be negative here. I went to Iraq out of the 25th Infantry Division in Hawaii from 07 to 09.
Solid place.
No.
Love to go there.
It's a great duty station. You get a lot of days off, but the PT's intense for most scouts. I will give infantry guys that they're better at PT than most scouts, because scouts are usually
It's just running.
getting the big green weenie a lot more, I would say. So I went to Iraq. I was in Baghdad province from 07 to 09. We got hit with a couple IEDs. Nothing stupid crazy. I did like 1 fucking hour in Sadr City. Nothing crazy. Then I went to, I don't know, I think it's called Kurdistan. I was in the Kurdish province, whatever, in Iraq. My second deployment, that was 9 to 10 or 10 to 11. I can't remember, because that deployment was basically drive around. I fired 1 warning shot, and that was it. And we just basically cleaned up remains of like high-level government officials that were like blown up. So we just went and did like quick SSE, sensitive site exploitation, for all you non-combat fucks out there. I got my cab on that deployment from an IED strike. I forgot about that. Combat action badge, which, yeah,
That's the real deal.
it
You've
is.
seen some bullets.
I
or
have
some
seen.
boom
I
booms.
have.
It's
then
a
I-
cool little badge that people get in the Army.
Then I went to
wear.
Fort Stewart, even though I re-enlisted to stay in Hawaii.
That's in Georgia?
Yeah, but because I was an E5 promotable at the time, that I was needs of the Army, so
That's a
I went
sergeant.
down to Fort Stewart. They messed up my paperwork, so I'm 22 at the time, and I was about to make staff sergeant. So, needless to say, I'm not a fucking turd. I got down there. I had to come back home for a court date because, as most military guys that I've deployed before, you come back with a lot of anger issues, and you don't really know how to deal with it. So you drink 151, and then you punch 3 or 4 dudes, and then the cops come and tase you, and then they have to tase you 3 or 4 times to get you But anyway, anyway, let's not go that route. Then I got down to Fort Stewart. I worked as a schools NCO in the S3 shop. Shitty job. I got fat. My ex-wife at the time was pregnant, and
congrats.
I had a beautiful baby girl named Harmony. She's awesome. Then I went to Afghanistan in 2013. We actually relieved 173rd, which was awesome because those guys were great. You know, they're out of Italy. They were fucking awesome. These guys, when because the senior leadership shows up early, so you do like a handoff basically. So we got to learn
intel information, exchange,
routes, all kinds of stuff. And
those guys especially how
awesome.
To operate in the location that you're staying in, because they've had previous experience being there.
Yeah, understanding where all the hot spots are, where the enemy runs to after a firefight, all that stuff.
All the important information.
Needless to say, I believe our end of tour awards for both of us say we were in like over 183 different firefights.
I didn't count.
Yeah, but it says that on my end of tour award. I don't know. We both got the big green weenie for an award that we didn't get, but it doesn't matter. We didn't do shit for awards. We just did our fucking job. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what I was supposed to do. I did that.
Yeah, he did very well. Then I got out. No, I went to Fort Campbell, went through Air Assault School, which
Where's
was,
that?
Kentucky.
Awesome.
Or Tennessee, depending on
what
you can drive left. You can drive left and go to the Walmart in Kentucky, and you don't pay state tax or sales tax. Or you can go right to the Walmart in Tennessee and pay sales tax. So I always went to the left. So
I would get mixed up every time. I guarantee it.
It is kind of weird.
Put a star in my mouth.
I'm trying to remember the name of the fucking town.
Oh, whatever. Who cares?
It sucks.
Tennessee, Kentucky.
Nashville's fun. Nashville's great. I recommend Nashville.
Minnesota, whatever it is.
Yeah. So I got out in 2015 on some certain circumstances I'd rather not go into.
Okay.
I was getting divorced. I found out.
Man, needless to say, there's no more said.
Yeah, 3 to 4 months before we got home from Afghanistan. So I was figuring life out. Shit sucks sometimes. You got to fucking bounce up. You got to rise up. And if you don't, shit's going to knock you the fuck down.
It always does.
Yeah, so I got out, did some dumb shit. I got a sleeve on my arm for a reason. We won't go into that too much, but basically, if you're having a hard time as a veteran not coping, you can always reach out to one of us.
Or anybody.
Yeah, any veteran. Don't ever think that not seeking help is a sign of strength. I think that's a sign of weakness.
I'm gonna put some contact information for you, sir.
Yeah,
down in the description below.
Yeah,
so look down there for yourself.
Hey, I don't want to lose any of y'all, man. No veteran's life is worth losing.
Or someone you know.
After we come home, or anyone, if you know how to read the signs, you can help them, and that's what we're all about.
I'll throw some service numbers down there because it's important. People are important. There's only so many of us. 7 billion? And it's important for our species to continue. It's needless to say if that's the only reason to propagate our entire species and to further the human race and the exploration of life and to its fullest extent. I mean, that's worth living for.
Yeah, exactly, and especially in today's political climate or media climate, however you want to phrase it.
Anything, it's crazy.
Yeah, but a lot of people are having a lot of hard times trying to fit in with what's going on. It's
I couldn't be a teenager.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, my dad believes this, and then your friend at school, his dad believes that, and so you guys are immediately separated because the two dads are at war with each other. I couldn't imagine. I'm glad I grew up in a time.
Specific example of something I couldn't imagine either.
Yeah, it's anything that could happen. Anyway, so I got out. I'm back on my feet. I'm doing pretty good now. You know what I mean? Can't complain. I just recently got into survival stuff, a lot of survival training. So I'm trying to do that and become self-sustainable and eventually have some land where I can shoot and farm and
homestead.
hunt on. Yeah, homestead with a nice pole barn full of liquor. But other than that, let's get to it.
All right, so I threw some questions down that I thought about off the top of my head when I described this thing in my, whatever grandiose idea plan. And I wanted to call this maybe Since Then and, wordplay going on. So first question of several, and hopefully this throws into some interesting avenues and some, maybe some mission-related experience or something. But how long ago since you got out?
6 years now.
Okay. And yeah, man, tell me about that. What was it like getting out? I know you said you didn't want to get in those circumstances, so it's not
okay.
The day you get out, you're a new man, you're living free, you're not under the government thumb.
Yeah.
What is that like?
I went a little crazy. I went so long being disciplined. I wanted to just fucking.
Oh, when it burst out the bubble.
Yeah, I wanted to experiment, so I did a lot of different drugs, LSD,
Oh shit.
ecstasy,
Okay.
all kinds of stuff. I had some weird experiences. I had some good ones.
What are you trying to look for?
I was just trying to look for purpose again because as you know, like when you're in, it's for the lives of your brothers and sisters next to you, more so than, and plus it's a greater purpose. It's like I'm in the army. I help Americans. That's what you look at it as, even
You
though
help the globe.
yeah, you look at it as, I
Probably
mean,
the UN.
what do? We build schools in Afghanistan and Iraq, and then we get shot at for it. It's like, why?
Well, I mean, we're there to do our best. We're there to provide, security for these schools and people and to facilitate life.
Yeah, I agree, but there's so
people
much
out there.
hate
Of course there is.
in the world for soldiers. I can't even make an Instagram comment based on my Instagram profile picture without someone stick to killing innocents or something. It's like, first of all, you have no idea of our rules of engagement or anything. We have never shot at someone that has not shot at us first, and most of the time when they shoot at us, we're in a vulnerable position, so we have the lower hand. So it takes us. We have to be a lot more high speed in order to survive. I'll just say that.
I'll tell you what, man. I've never had any hate. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I've never had any
Well,
hate. No one's ever hated on me. I mean,
Maybe I'm just a spiteful person. Maybe some of the comments because I think being a sergeant for so long in the Army has made me kind of like, I'm not afraid to call you on your bullshit.
Well, I mean, that's a skill set you learn over time, is how to be and operate as a sergeant. It's a very important role for people who are uninitiated, uninformed. I'm sorry if you're not, but this is a long established. What do you say, like, career move? It's like a career decision. If you're in like a business, like, you're like a manager, you manage people, that you manage their daily lives, like so much of their daily life, like everything about it entirely. Like you have to make sure that other people are dressed correctly. Like
Leaders eat last always. It doesn't matter if it comes to your paperwork getting in.
shoes, the same.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
socks, the correct one.
Yep.
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is your underwear, sir?
Well, I didn't
Ma'am?
care about all that dumb shit. I only cared about operational stuff. But yeah, I could see where a lot of privates to specialists get a bad idea of what sergeants are, because in our own platoon we have
Private to specialist are ranks in the Army. So a private
Yeah.
is a lower rank, specialist is about a 4 up.
Yeah.
So it's a scale, guys. Eventually, if you look it up, you can figure it out.
Yeah, it's just rank structure in the military, which I think that it's dumb that guys that are deployed, guys and gals, I'm sorry,
Whatever it is.
guys used to be all in clinchal.
It's kind of like a bro. Like, hey, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, bruh.
Hey, bruh, what's up, bruh? What
Bruh.
you got going on?
out
Yeah,
to
so
Lewis.
basically,
Bruh.
I've been out for about 6 years now. What are we getting to? I need a beer.
Get a buddy, bro. So, yeah, I want to bring Jamison on here because he's had a lot of struggles in his life, and I've seen him overcome a lot of them, and I really look to that always for inspiration for myself, because I've gone through, I feel like nothing. So, and when I feel like I'm struggling, I look at someone like this and I go, wow, that's ridiculous. How can he still be standing here after all the nonsense he's gone through? Like,
Everything's
I
relative.
couldn't imagine being divorced. I just got married myself, so like that's
Congratulations.
yeah. I mean, she's wonderful. I love you, Mom. I couldn't imagine going through a divorce, like on a deployment, no less. Like that's ridiculous, and like just that alone is something to look up for. And like you're here, you're
Yeah.
moving on. Like
Yeah.
you're a stable individual now, and you've really come to terms with a lot of things, and I look for that, and I look for that, and that to me, that emotional security is a sign of strength. And,
Look, if my dumb weak ass could make it through all the shit I've been through, then you can too. So don't ever feel like you're not enough for whatever reason it is. Like, I'm here to help you. I don't want people to do the dumb thing that I did to myself. I don't want you to do that. And I hope that you have an imagination, you can figure that out. Because I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to go into the circumstances of it. Because it doesn't matter in the long term of things. It's an obstacle that I must overcome.
well, I mean, tell him something. Like, it was an incident. It was an incident. It was.
I passed over to the other side for 5 minutes. Needless to say, I brought that injury upon myself. I won't get too gory about it. And then I was awoken by, I want to say it's epinephrine or something, adrenaline maybe, that they just shot me up with in the hospital. And the first thing
Correct.
I said was like, I got to piss.
100%.
And they put me back out because they said they were going to put a catheter in my pee hole, and I said no, and then so they passed me the fuck back out.
Yeah, so in that experience there, that really opened your eyes. I'm guessing. Like I've heard a lot of talk over the years of near-death experiences or crossing over and seeing the light and all that stuff. And I myself am curious as to what it feels like, to transcend.
It feels peaceful to me. I didn't have any moments of where like my life flashed in front of my eyes or anything like that. I just felt at ease. Like I felt no more stress, no more problems, no more held or bound by this realm. As weird as that sounds, I'm sure, but I mean, maybe some of you out there have had those similar experiences. You can definitely leave those in the comments below. I'd love to read those.
Sure. I was about to say it myself. Like I want to hear from you guys. I'm super curious on that, and I will
anyone that
throw some hearts out there. Yeah, like that's some real deal. Like even people are curious on that stuff. Take a little Google search. Take a little 5-minute Google search when you're sitting on the toilet. I mean, everyone sits on the toilet sometimes. So, take a Google search, go deep, and, maybe see what people are seeing. Like, why people are seeing what they're seeing. I think there's something to that of what people experience after and what they change usually is like a big change in their life. And I think that right there, speaks volumes of, like, these people died, essentially. Like, no longer living. And then they went, okay, I'm going to pick up my things and I'm going to do this now because this is very important and this other stuff was not so important.
Yeah, it puts into perspective everything that should have already been in perspective. But we grow up, trying to fit in, in our formative years are in high school, and that's just like dumb because kids are being dicks and other kids are not fitting in, and it's like, dude, we should all just accept each other for being each other. Like, that's why I love the military, is because like you have no idea what a guy's like until you see him in his civilian clothes and you're like, oh, he's a trench coat. Yeah, I'm sorry, I worked with
you worked with a lot of dudes.
Yeah, I didn't work with any females unless they were combat photographers or that search team that they ended up getting together like mid 2013 that used to come out and search females with us and stuff. We only worked with them a few times, but
code names.
Pretty much. I mean, they were badass. They never complained that we'd walk through rivers and
remember they had a famous cheerleader.
Did they?
Yeah, the Dallas one.
I don't remember.
That was a Dallas cheerleader.
I know they were pretty smoking hot. So
she was always in pictures, and I said, "Oh, I know her." I feel like she probably has an OnlyFans.
That's awesome, but I never experienced like I'm going back to what we were talking about. They say like DMT's released when you die. Like after that happened and before that happened, I never wanted to smoke or endurance like any sort of DMT because I didn't want to know what it's like to be alive because I didn't want it, or to be dead because I didn't want to accept it. So I don't think I'll ever do that.
Hold on. Let's go back here. What are you talking about DMT? What is DMT for the folks?
Well, it's supposed to be the chemical that's released in your brain. You can also find it
dimethyltryptamine.
Yeah, so it comes out when you're about to cross over to the other side. And I don't know if I experienced it or not. In my defense, I was 2 bottles of rum deep. So
yeah, I don't know if I could be alive 2 bottles of rum deep. So good for you, sir. You managed to come back from death after 2 bottles of rum.
Hey, that's an Ohio country boy shit.
So, guys, the moral of the story here is don't drink 2 bottles of rum.
Yeah, never. Don't do that.
Over any period of time.
No.
I don't recommend it.
No.
I like a rum and Coke every now and a year.
But if you're like a new guy in the Army and you're combat arms, or a new gal in the Army and you're combat arms, or you got some...
For sure.
Some... barracks warriors around you, there's gonna be serious scenarios where you're gonna have to pretend you're taking shots, otherwise you're gonna probably
that is
die.
The safest solution. I also agree. Being into many barracks shindigs, as I would call them, some interesting events with some shots may have involved, and so don't drink all of them. You don't have to. You can show your strength and solidarity by not fucking drinking sometimes.
Well, how gay? No, I don't care about LGBTQ. I accept all people, whatever.
You don't care about. Okay, rephrase that statement. Sir.
Okay, I don't care what your sexual preference is. It has nothing to do with who you are as an individual. But if you hang out in the barracks too long and guys are drinking, there's gonna be a little grab ass. It's gonna be like a locker
I
room.
don't condone this. As
Yeah, I
someone
was
who's
not a fan.
experienced
I'm not
this,
a fan.
I am
I'm
not
not
a
a
fan of like any personal touching. So please don't. And when they get a little rowdy like that, like I know it gets weird with a lot of dudes in a room, and I'm saying that because I'm saying that specific scenario has happened to me
What's the craziest
many times, and it's
Barrack
gross.
story you have?
God, dude, I don't know. Like,
I got one.
yeah, go ahead.
So
Shoot
there's
ahead.
this guy. I got the Ranger School slot when I was in Hawaii in the 25th. Yeah, I guess we had one slot in this.
He was looking cute.
I don't fucking know. I was decent. In my mind, I was the best soldier there was, but that's being arrogant. So I probably wasn't, but no, definitely not. Yeah, so they held a formation. They said, hey, we got one Ranger School slot. And then they said, we're going to say who gets it. And then all of a sudden, I get called up to the front. And I'm like, oh, shit, okay. I got this slot. So I started training. I went through RIP. That shit sucked, but I did. It was a 3-week MTT course, I believe it's called, when they come out to you and serve you. Because I think I did
Rangers
AOC.
is some elite special force.
Yeah, they're pretty
type
badass dudes.
operators inside the
I was
Army.
scared of jumping out of a fucking plane for.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a requirement of
I'm a bitch.
being a Ranger certified person.
Yeah, they're pretty badass. The Army Special Forces schools are all about not eating, and it seems like every other branch is like, hey, just eat what the fuck you can and figure it out. I'm not sure about Marines, but anyway, so I get that slot. I have a infantry guy that's in our mortar platoon, and he comes over to me and says, hey, Soren, I think it's fucking bullshit that you get this slot. And you can't even go to a Ranger battalion. So, okay, Matt, if you want to come out and train with me and you pass all the courses I put you through, I'll send you to the fucking school. He said, okay, Soren. So we got up every day at 4. I'd work him out. Dude was a fucking PT stud, I'm not going to lie. But he couldn't really get the land nav down, and that was the thing we worked on the most, and I finally got him up, ready to go. He shipped off. He failed land nav, I want to say 2 or 3 times. But he ended up staying, getting through, and then he comes back, and then he goes to like a barracks party. And him and 2 other guys are having sexual relations with somebody else's wife, and they're videotaping it.
Wow.
Yeah, so needless to say...
Life at the barracks.
Yeah, and they're
Why
doing...
was she there? Why was she there? So the barracks, it's like a... Oh, how do you describe that thing? It's just a like dormitory housing, essentially.
It's a trailer park that's in a hotel.
Yeah, so like mine, where I was at in Fort Stewart, Georgia, by Savannah, was pretty dope. It was me and another dude, same sex in the Army, and we shared like a kitchenette thing, and it was great. Fridge. I cooked all the time. I loved it. I had my own separate room with a door. And bathroom was nice. And shower. Oh my God, it was great.
You guys in 214 Cav know what the hell I'm talking about. Those barracks suck.
There's a lot of barracks that do suck, and I've been in a lot of really terrible ones. So yeah.
Yeah, I never got to see what the main post at Stewart looked like, but I imagine they
gross.
were. Yeah,
Just
they were
gross.
garbage. But anyway, he ends up doing cocaine that night. He pops
Oh my
hot.
God.
So he has a Ranger tab, and he's about to go to Ranger battalion, and now he can't. So I'm like mad, but I'm like happy that he completed it. And he ends up getting kicked out.
So he was the one tag teaming the wife.
Yeah, he was one of them on video,
And on
and they
cocaine.
caught him on video doing coke. So that's why
So
they did
in the
drug
military,
test.
it is an offense to fornicate with another individual's significant other.
If you want to
Not
get
significant
technical, you can't even have sex with your own wife outside the missionary position.
other.
That's in the
Sure.
regulations. It's in the
Yeah,
regulations.
there's a regulation that says you can't. God, what is the word I'm looking for? Not fornicate. Yeah. Adult. You're an adulterer. That's the word. Adult. You can be an adulterer.
Yeah. Do not adulterate.
Adulterate. Jeez.
I don't even know if that's the
Whatever.
right word. Shit, man. Who knows, dude? We're just some fucking dumb soldiers, man. Who knows?
I don't feel that dumb.
Yeah, me neither. But I can make fun of myself. I don't care.
All right, man. So it's been a long time since you've been in. Mm-hmm. So what have you done since then?
I worked a lot of different jobs. I try to be the best father I can be. Those circumstances are not where I want them to be. I'm pretty sure a lot of guys and gals that have come in similar situations or been in similar situations feel the same way. Like it's not as easy as you think it's going to be. They either want this or that or that. But I'm not here to be negative. I'm here to keep going and keep trekking, keep trucking.
I mean, do you feel like you're a good father?
At the time, no.
Okay.
I feel like I'm doing everything I can, and I try to be, but I could be doing more. But I'm kind of just letting the chips fall where they may, and then I can pick up those pieces. It's not that like I'm not there. I want to be there. It's just COVID,
Yeah, bro, there's a lot of stuff going on.
obesity that runs in their family, all kinds of stuff. So
Do you feel like she's in good hands?
I feel like she's in better hands than she would be with me at the current moment. Yes.
Okay, man, that sounds like a fair compromise.
Yeah, I had to
like
make
you're
a
being the bigger
sacrifice.
person there,
Yeah.
and really taking the onus on that she is well cared for. And,
Yeah. Well, if they don't
you know,
get there,
you're doing as much as you can. You know,
I am.
You're doing your financial way as well, which financial way very important.
She's got a college fund.
Pay your
but
child support, people, for real.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. So it's been a long time, and you know you've had a couple jobs since then. Like, what have you stuck for something? Like, you really like feeling like motivated to go do a thing, or is it like anything calling you?
Yeah, firearms training, security training, anything like that. Like just tactics. Like basically, if you're a grunt or what they consider a grunt in the military, which I'm not even a grunt, they would say, even though
What does grunt mean?
it just when you put your rucksack on, you grunt. Basically, 11 bang bang.
Just
because it's so heavy. Yeah, that's basically what the terminology means. And for all of you, whatever
heavy moving individual.
super heavy infantry guys say, like, no, I was a light scout my whole entire time, and trust me, I could do everything your platoon could do with my guys just as good, or if not better. I would say mostly better, but that's just another jab at them. We worked with those guys in Afghanistan too. They were high speed. They were just more let's fucking go, instead of like, hey, let's take a tactical pause, realize what we're doing, and try not to.
Honestly, like I don't group the actual branch by MOS or like specific position. I manage by individual because I've met so many individuals in there who had the exact same like job that I did, and I went, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, don't do that. Please, anything else but what you're gonna do. Like, you cannot save a life in any sort of situation, like a clinical situation, like going into a doctor. There's not even saving a life then, like a paper cut. And
well, there's so many people that it's just like any job that you work, any civilian job, any regular job, any police job, I'm sure, any firefighter job, there's someone that's always just trying to skate by doing the bare minimum, and they're not spending time, even though they know we're going to like a life-threatening deployment, we're going to do missions where we're going to get shot at and blown up and hit with RPGs and everything. You know, they don't actually take the time to like realize that if they make one mistake, like that could not just be their life, that's 4 to 5 to maybe the whole squad or section lives, and people don't realize that. It's like, dude, like that's why I was happy that I'm lucky that I made sergeant so quick in the Army, because I got to learn as I was still like, hey, I kind of love this stuff. I'm not getting screwed over too much, and then so I made sergeant at 19.
Dang, that's quick. How many years in?
Year. 18 months. I got a waiver.
Out of here.
Yeah, I got a battlefield promotion to specialist.
That is ridiculous.
So I think I made it right at 24 months, but I would have been.
What's the normal
eligible
time
for someone to make E5? Probably
your MOS.
3 to 4 years.
4 years, guys. 4 years. 3 to 4 years. 3.5 years average. This guy, year and a half.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, right at 2, I got promoted, but that's.
What did you come in as? Like, what number?
E2.
E2. So you made E5 in a year and a half.
Well, I made E3 less than 6 months after being in, even though that's the thing. So I showed up to the 25th, went to NTC, which is the training area in California.
So you went from Hawaii to California.
Mm-hmm. And then we
terrible.
did. Yeah. Well,
How terrible to start your career.
Well, where I was in the desert in California.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, no one knows. No one knows. So NTC is by Barstow, California. You can Google it. It's just a giant desert pit and a lot of dust. A lot of dust.
Very
it's
hot.
It's very hot. It's where Death Valley is, guys. It's where Death Valley is.
I remember with the tarmac, when we got off the plane on the tarmac and the sun was beating, I could see the heat just seeping off. We would walk off. We had 3 heat casualties just walking off the plane.
That's hilarious.
Well, they didn't prep. They drank the night before.
Oh, I would too.
I didn't. I prepped.
I drank the night before.
I was a private. I was with this other private that was high speed.
Oh, yeah. If I was under 21, then yeah, for sure.
I think his name was Rivera. He was a high speed guy. He got with me. He was in the first platoon. I was in the third.
Got with you?
Nah,
No, it's not a sex joke, guys.
He just got with me. He's like, hey, your gear's put together. So we like spent time making sure. So it's just different individuals. I don't know. He was he actually had a whole degree for like to be a priest. He could have been a priest if he wanted.
What?
Yeah, he had like a whole
Priest degree.
And he, I
Yo,
don't know
show
what
me
it's
the
called.
degree, son.
Religious studies. That's what it's
Religious
called.
studies.
Yeah.
A priest degree.
So
Give me
he's
the
like a
priest
semester
degree.
away, but he could have been a chaplain in the army.
Yeah, that's a legit job. There's a lot of chaplains of all faiths, actually.
Hey.
I think the only one I don't have is satanic and atheist.
They have
I would be
agnostic,
the
though.
atheist.
They have agnostic, I'm pretty sure.
Come on, man! I wanted to. Oh, I should have done that. Dang it!
I think they have an agnostic. I'm not sure.
Oh my god, that would have been beautiful.
But yeah,
why,
I mean,
why are you here to talk to me?
he got it. He was like, hey, this, like, I think one of his NCOs is like, hey, this private over here is this guy that's getting it done. Everyone thought I was infantry because of my mindset, but dude, I had great drill sergeants, honestly. They all were like, just got back or had been there early days and like, look, you're going to get fucked up. You're going to see shit no matter what. Like, I was originally supposed to go to Fort Riley, Kansas.
Ooh.
And then they came down, and then they said, hey, you, get the fuck in here. So he said, Roger, what's up, drill sergeant? Hey, you're going to Hawaii now. It's like, oh, yeah. They're like, yeah, you're fucking deploying in 3 weeks or
beautiful.
3 months or whatever. So I was like, cool, that's what I wanted to do. That's why I signed up. I remember 9/11. That was very vivid in my day. I was in 7th grade, and I remember I didn't see the first tower go. They turned on the TV in school as the second tower went. And I remember this lady jumping out, and she was holding her skirt down so she could die with dignity. And that, to me, just stuck out. Anyway, we had some technical difficulties.
Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
Old camera.
It's pretty nice. But yeah, so I knew I wanted to serve from that day on. I was pretty athletic in high school, I guess. I'm not no fucking all-state wrestler or anything. I didn't even play. But I went to all the open gyms, and dude, I was shitting on people. But where I'm from is predominantly less than ideal people. They don't have any plans. There was a huge heroin epidemic here, which my ex-wife got caught up into.
Where are you from, sir?
I'm from Dayton, Ohio.
Where is Ohio in the U.S.?
Midwest.
What is the Midwest? I've heard Midwest is Michigan, and I'm gonna say no.
Bang! No, Michigan. Well, I guess part of it. Yeah, but Ohio's where people talk like this and they drink.
Midwest is a big rectangle, guys. It's right in the middle. Just right in the middle. There's not a lot here. It's a very farmland area.
Yeah, there's some
so
big
it's very
cities,
industrial,
Y'all know
farmland
about it.
type jobs
Ohio
for most
State.
people. So it's a very working class community.
Yeah, blue collar.
It's a blue collar, probably heavily conservative in many aspects.
Mostly, but we have like Yellow Springs where Dave Chappelle, he's not from, but he lives there.
that's nice.
It's a very hippie
funny.
town. It's balanced, I would say. I mean, we have all walks of life. There's a huge like Indian. When I say Indian, I mean actual India people here. They actually have like the part of the university over here, Wright State University, is the Raj Soin Center, and then we have Raj Soin Medical Centers. Like he's a big.
That's awesome.
I delivered appliances to him a bunch, and he buys a lot of
Oh, you
appliances.
delivered appliances. That's cool.
Yeah, it was
But this backbreaking work.
it wasn't that bad.
I sold parts for appliances. It's a lot easier.
It's no worse
It's a lot
than
easier. They're like this big.
packing your ruck for 14 days in Afghanistan. It's after you do that, you have such a new appreciation for life. You're like, dude, this sucks, but this doesn't suck. Like, dude, I just got shot at 20 minutes ago. Now I have to fucking run over here and then get shot at again. And then like, oh, they're like, hey, we can't get you a resupply of ammo, so just hold what you got. It's like, what?
That fridge, like I would not want to lift that fridge.
That little baby fridge is nothing.
I could take
on a
getting
dolly.
shot at because I can run. Because like running
I
is
can run,
easy.
too.
Lifting that, I would almost die.
I don't think it's that.
My deadlift is maybe 300 right now. So, like
are-
that's ridiculous.
Those are basic numbers. You didn't get those numbers.
Pump. I know they're rookie numbers. I know. My CrossFit total is probably like 500.
Anyway, what you got?
What do I got?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think my next question here is, what mattered to you back then?
Just
In the army, like
bringing all my guys back. I would say that I definitely sacrificed myself as a husband. Not as a father. I always took care of my daughter. But as a husband, I mean, my wife was kind of a bitch anyway. I hope you're listening too, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a grown up, things happen. We're all young. Everything happens. But what mattered to me then was making sure my guys were as proficient and ready as they could be so we could execute the tasks that were ahead of us efficiently and make sure that no one dies. I had a great platoon sergeant on my first deployment. And he always said,
explain what that is, guys.
what, a platoon sergeant?
Yeah, explain what this is to the folks.
So I was a team leader, so a sergeant, and I served as a staff
E5,
sergeant.
and then probably an
E5.
E6, so it's a number 6 position. It takes like
Yeah.
a year to get
And then
there,
up,
so like
no, it takes
region
about,
manager.
almost about 2 to 3 years after you make E5. Most people. I actually made E6 at 22, but S1 at Fort Stewart lost my paperwork for my PT card, which they could have.
Physical fitness.
Yeah, and they didn't call me to tell me to put it into this thing called some stupid automated. Everything changes so much in the
Automated
Army,
system.
and
It's
it's hard to
supposed
keep
like
up with.
what date was this, sir?
I would have got there November of 2012.
So they're updating systems in time, and like it's all trying to get up to the future, like actual digital, interesting stuff.
You know, everyone gets screwed over by the big green weenie. Anyway, what mattered is just, especially for the workup. Once I left the 3 shop and I got down to the line guys, which is the trigger pullers, the guys that are actually working hard, that are getting treated like dog poop, and they're not getting a slap on the back like, hey, thanks for what you're doing every day. No, these are the guys out actually doing stuff. You know, night raids, all kinds of stuff. I knew that we needed to be ready, and I knew that our guys were not. There was other NCOs in our platoon, non-commissioned officers, E5s and above, that were not up to speed of what I thought we needed to be, especially in the highest positions. But I had a platoon sergeant when I was on my first deployment, which is an E7, which is it takes an act of Congress to demote an E7. So once you make it there, you might as well stay in.
Wow.
He was only in for about 14 years, so he's a pretty high-speed guy, Sergeant Green. He always said, fingers and toes, head on a swivel. He always said that, and I always kind of kept that with me. It's like, hey, we got to make sure everyone comes back.
Sounds like good advice.
Yeah, their fingers and toes and keep their head on a swivel, and that's what mattered. And I tried to get some of the bigger guys that I knew were not going to be able to perform out of our platoon.
What do you mean by bigger?
Not up to Army standards physically, fitness-wise.
So what are you talking about specifically? Like, you know, like
Fat bodies.
Okay. So like,
I don't like fat bodies.
so like,
Now, if it's natural, you got some issues. You got some.
there's
shit.
a lot of body types. I think it's interesting. So like the Army or the actual all of the military has a really, in my opinion, dumb standard system, and they still use the traditional body
like
fat standard, which
BMI.
is the BMI. Yeah, that thing is ridiculous. It is so inaccurate. Like I did a body scan when I was living in California. They actually did my fat percentage. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah.
it's
Well,
like-
it's not
like-
just taking a tape measure to your neck and
Yeah, like
user error.
all my fat was in my midline. That was the majority of it. It was all in my midline. So like, I cleaned up my diet.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear evidence. Like when you look at yourself in the picture and you go, "Damn, I'm fat."
He's a lot more disciplined than me when it comes to food. I like my beer.
It's a long process, people. It was an arduous process to say. It was, oh my, years, decades.
Yeah, so just making sure that everyone came back home, and I'm so glad we did. I mean, when we went to PKS, which is Podkavishana, which was this
I don't. It's not a PDF.
village right outside of where we were at. It was it was actually controlled by U-11 Bang Bangs out there, and they sent us scouts in because we were more high speed to go chase. Guess what? A hot spot on the P-tids, and guess what it turned out to be? Watermelons. And guess what happened? A dishka opened up on us. Kids threw Chinese-made grenades at us. A couple guys took shrapnel, and we had to run over mountains to get back. And they denied a medevac.
I didn't run. Thank God.
I sprinted because I was a section leader, so I had to.
That was an interesting day. So like, it was interesting to me because I walked out, and I usually don't load around in my gun. One, I had a couple of reasons. It was I was the medic, and my guys needed protecting first, saving first.
Security. He takes care of the medical stuff.
And on the off chance somebody tries to grab my gun, I don't want it to be loaded for any reason. Like I know the safety's on. That's fine. I know the safety's on.
And he wasn't attached. He's attached to my unit. He's not a scout, so I'm not going to make him act like a fucking scout for all you NCOs that are like, well, I'd make him fucking do that. It's like, no, you have to individually treat people the same as you would everyone else. It's called fair and what? Equal? Fair and impartial. It's not equal. It's fair and impartial.
Fair and impartial. Yeah, fair and impartial. And so, yeah, I thought this was a great idea, and I want to stick with my policy there. And if I needed to lock and load, I could. I'm not scared to. That day, I wasn't scared to, but I decided that I did. And we walked out. It was like 100 yards. And then I went, oh, I have the feeling.
Yeah.
And the platoon sergeant Sergeant Locken, he looked back at me and he said, "Oh shit, the medic locked and loaded, guys. You know what's happening today." I said, "Yes, this is ridiculous. Why are we here?" It's walking through buildings. It was up like a mountain. It was like some sort of, so we walk out of a base, go around through some buildings, and then we go up this ridiculous mountain looking thing.
Yeah.
And then down, there's a valley, and then there's up to another ravine looking thing overlooking a city.
Yeah, there's buildings all up and down the mountains.
It's all the same color because it's all the same material. These buildings are mud brick.
This is less than 2 miles out from our actual living quarters. So if you wanted to sit in a high position and launch a mortar, which they did on multiple occasions, straight into where our tents were, they did it all the time. Yep, they did it all the time. All the time. But yeah, when it hit me that something was going to happen was when the ANA took off on them by themselves.
The ANA is the Afghan National Army.
Mm-hmm. And they just took off by themselves and took their own route. And
yeah, that was weird. Like, what was that like after we like...
After we found out they were watermelons.
After. So after we got to the objective, after there was two teams got to the objective. One team got the objective, said, this is...
Yeah, I was the assault
force. This is ridiculous.
I believe...
These are watermelons in tubes.
Yeah.
So someone thought they were rockets. You know, giant tubes running around with people next to the base.
Yes,
right?
yes. So here's what happened: is I was the support by fire section leader, and then I'm the SSC guy. So they called me forward. So I went up with 2 guys for security for myself. I did SSE on the site, which is sensitive site exploitation, which is basically like battlefield forensics, is the best way I can explain it. So I'm basically gathering intelligence.
You're like CSI.
Yeah, bagging, tagging, doing all that stuff. Found that it was watermelons. There was no traces of any explosives.
What was that
there.
feeling like? You're like all hyped up. You're like, dude, I'm gonna find some rockets. Oh my god, I'm gonna blow up.
I didn't think we were gonna find shit. Honestly, we were so deep in that deployment where it was like, hey, just go do this. This is what happened.
Desensitized.
Yeah, I was totally desensitized. I was like, hey, I'm just here to keep my men alive. You know, and if shit pops off, I'm ready to go. And I like that switch that I actually got taught in Afghanistan. Like, if it's time to fight, it's time to fight. If it's not, it's time for me to turn off. Sometimes I prematurely like get it halfway up, which I wish I could figure out in between the
I remember one time you drank a Rip It, and I said, that's a bad idea. And then you regretted that decision like an hour later, or like 30 minutes later. Okay, so keep going.
When was this?
They were like, we're going to save the SF. Oh my god, I'm gonna drink a Rip It. It was like 2 in the morning, and I was like, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, that was like
we're not gonna go.
Yeah, that was like I wish.
And then we didn't go.
That was in the Tangi Valley. Yeah, I wish we would have went.
I wish we would have went. That would have been scary. In the nighttime.
I always operated at night. Iraq, we always did missions at night. We hardly were ever.
If it started getting lit up in the nighttime, like I'm scared.
I'm not. I like
if the SF guys are getting lit up in the nighttime, like an SF group is
call us in,
getting lit up in the
dude.
nighttime.
Hey, give me that fast track to wherever you're at.
I'll go, but like I need some good dudes.
Yeah, we'd have been all right.
Scary people.
If we'd have taken my section and Star Riders and Polar,
I can think of some badass individuals.
Would have been all right. Would have been all right. Anyway, Elliot could have kept his ass home though.
Damn. Okay. Pop shots.
Nah, it's just because
there's some issues.
It is what it is. Hey, dude, I respect for what you did, but you know what you said.
Damn, sir. Damn. Calling him out.
Yeah, I don't care. Hey, I got a lot of respect for you, brother. I hope you're doing well in life. You sometimes pop into my Instagram. That's cool. I hope you're doing well.
All right, man. So you're feeling hot. You're feeling desensitized. You're like, man, this is fucking bullshit. What the fuck am I doing here?
I can't remember if this is before or after Taliban Castle, because Taliban Castle was what broke me pretty much.
Don't remember. Honestly, the timeline, my timeline.
Yeah, we were out every day.
Is so construed, it's ridiculous. I don't like my sense of time is just nonsense.
I have tons of respect for what SF guys go through, like especially because they're going straight in and they know it's bad. But we're out here gathering intelligence and just constantly getting screwed. Over and over and over again, and we get in firefights too. I mean, you can check out his YouTube channel for a bunch of those videos.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't really watch them, guys.
I do sometimes to get a perspective on where I was at. Hey, Sergeant Clint Romachet, I got tons of respect for you. I read The Outpost before I left and while I was in country, and your story motivated me and got me ready to fucking.
I remember you reading stories to soldiers.
Yeah, story time and the 3-3 truck. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd sit overnight at a lot of places, and so you just have story time. Yeah, it's great.
I'd read.
I wasn't ever
guys,
there,
man.
so
look. There's a lot of NCOs out here. I'm sure if there's some young soldiers watching, they're gonna look at their NCO and gonna be like, "Man, this guy's a fucking turd. He just
Looking for leadership is really hard sometimes.
He's not good at PT. He doesn't care. He just yells all the time and smokes me. Look, as an NCO, you're not allowed to smoke a soldier more than anything that you could physically do. And if I saw a soldier struggling when I was smoking him, I jumped in and did it better than him.
Yeah, they're getting safety cards. Come on.
Dude, I hope not, man. I hope that we're not destroying tradition. Anyway, I have to pee.
Go pee.
I have to take 11 Bravo real quick.
Oh, can't define. Oh my god, so lit. Anyways, there's no reason that we should ever be going to save SF guys. I'm just a regular medic. I have much respect for the SF guys. I wish I would have gone. That's my statement. I wish I would have gone. Those dudes are badass. I don't know how to do what they did, and I've been trained by many SF guys over my short army career, very short, and I envy them. I really do, because they have, to me, a really dream job. You know, they get to do the craziest things in the craziest places, and then train in whatever fashion they need to train, and learn whatever they need to learn, and usually in an unlimited, budget or an unlimited time frame to do so, and not really unlimited, but it's just it's something that I would strive for if I could. It's just continuously learning, continuously growing, and trying to be the best, hone in on the best of the best. Like what is the elite operation of being a human, and they try to figure that out and operate at that tempo a lot. And it's something that I wish I could do. And so I try to do CrossFit as much as I can to get myself swole and, cut, lean, whatever the euphemism you want to use.
Machine. No, for real. I have no disdain in my heart. Every 18 Delta or 18 whatever series I've ever met was awesome. Every
The best
Ranger
people.
I've
never met any turds like that. I've met some turd Rangers. That's fine.
I think there was a couple at the Chow Hall.
Cocky ones. It's usually just young guys.
Yeah, but they're probably not even. Well, yeah, they're in the unit. They pass RASP. It doesn't mean they all have Ranger tabs.
Look at my jeans.
Most guys that have actually seen combat are pretty chill.
For sure. There's there's different levels to it, of course. There's all different individuals. I've met some ridiculous people. Just why? You were in combat? Get out of here! You're ridiculous. Why are you even saying what you're saying?
Some of the most fucked up people in the head that I've met have only experienced one IED.
Oh man. Are you saying fucked up in the head in a good way or a bad way?
Bad way, dude. IEDs are terrifying. When you get shot at least you have a fucking chance to you get some chance.
There's a different feeling, guys. I don't know how to. I'm going to try to explain this best I can. I've been in several IED explosions. Maybe inside a car. I don't remember. Inside, mostly on foot.
2 dismounted, 3 mounted in Afghanistan.
I didn't count. It was a lot. There's a video I have on here of immediately after an explosion. There was dust everywhere. This guy thought he died. Some people were standing exactly where the IED was buried. When we're just laying down chilling, not laying down chilling, but observing a location during the daytime. And they were chilling there, and then they moved over. Boom. We went, oh my God, everyone's okay. Thank God. Mm-hmm. But that does give an effect. That shock wave, it pounds. It'll hit you. Bang. And that'll rattle your head. And it's not good from there. It's not really good from there. I am less of a person today because of all of the bangs that I've had to my head.
Well,
bangs, explosions.
He's a medic, so from an NCO standpoint, when something like that happens, you're immediately getting your guys ready for a complex ambush. So basically, that's the first strike. Now they're seeing how you react, so you have to constantly. So
you're sitting there, we're observing some day-to-day operations in a village or whatever it is, and that's what we were told to do for whatever reason. I don't ever know why.
Counter idea.
Yeah.
Whatever. Counter indirect fire, so to stop the base from getting mortared, which we did
It was a constant issue there. They nicknamed the place we're at Rocket City.
Yeah, it was either Rocket or Mortar. No, it was Rocket City. CBS News. You can look this up. 2013.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. That was the time we were at, and so Rocket City was
Fob Shank
being defended by us outside just sitting there. That's what we're told to do. Is you can't blow up people when there's like soldiers sitting there. You can't launch a rocket because you get shot. So yeah, so that was what our purpose was, is to observe and disrupt, counter IDF. So we're sitting there, long hours, many days, and just in one place that we've been to many different times. We just go around many different places just to not,
it was complacency.
do the same thing.
Complacency. It is so hard to fight complacency as an NCO or any kind of leader in any unit at all. It doesn't matter if you're law enforcement, you're a manager at some place. You don't want to be complacent.
Complacency is hard. Yeah, that is true.
Complacency kills. If you're okay with how you are in your life at the current moment, that's not helping you improve.
No.
So, like, I'm pretty complacent with my life because I'm living decently. But it's not where I want to be, and I'm starting to realize that. So, over the past couple months, I've started to formulate a plan. And that's how we constantly need to do. But when you're in a combat environment, you don't have time to formulate the plan. You just adapt and overcome.
It's a different situation, though. Like, when you're sitting there from day to day, as we did, like in the exact same places, like there's nowhere to go. Like these are mud built villages. It's barely is what today you would say is civilized. Like they have doors and windows and roofs, but they're all made of dirt.
And picture Western
I love
civilization.
I love the ingenuity of how they did this. Like they used their environment to help them.
It's like Mayan
I've watched
times.
them. We like walked past and build a house with shovels and mud and a couple people in like a week, and it was just done. I was like, wow, it's magic. Like these people know exactly what they're doing. Like,
all their rooftops had a standing area too.
Yeah, it was great
to defend. It's much different of a thought process than we have here.
Yeah, and they usually had an area for taking bowel movements and then using it as fertilizer. I mean, you got to do what you got to do out there. So, like car batteries for lights, like to string out the entire house complex. It's not very lit at night. They don't really have power. There's no roads. There's no nothing. And so when you're out there day to day, you sit behind a mud brick building. You just hope that it wasn't implanted with an explosive at any point in time ever. And this place has been lit up for 2 decades. 2 decades. The Russians came in the 80s and carpet bombed the place. It's in Wikipedia.
They've been at war with each other since
Logar Province, Afghanistan.
Since Genghis Khan.
Yeah, and like this has been, of course, it's been wartime since Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan, I guess, is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, so it is Genghis Khan. The only person who really conquered it was Genghis Khan. Alexander the Great died there.
Yep.
I did see some blue-eyed babies out there, some blue-eyed individuals. It was very interesting.
You fucking ginger fucks with no soul. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so like that region has been, conquered or attempted conquering for millennia, it seems like, and it's never been. It's never been. It's a ridiculous, hostile environment that's not conductive for any sort of peace, I guess, at this point in time. Like it has to come from within. And so when we're there day to day, you don't see the peace. You see the peace all around, but you feel like you're bringing the violence sometimes.
Well, to put it simply, the Taliban trained in Pakistan, and they still continue to train in Pakistan to this day, up to my knowledge. And the whole entire border of Afghanistan to the east, would be nothing but mountains that lead you right into Pakistan. So they have tunnels and caves and everything. They can just quickly come across. It's not like Afghanistan has fucking border security like we do. It's not like there's high-speed guys out there with MP5s and shit. They don't have any of that.
Or a Trump wall.
Yeah, they don't have any Trump walls.
No Trump
Trump wall would do
I've seen
pretty good there, I'm sure.
Eat fucking tamales through the Trump wall.
Oh, really?
Down by Tijuana.
Didn't they put a seesaw in there so like an American kid would teeter-totter with
yeah. It's great. I love that shit.
Unity.
Yeah, I used to live by the San Diego border, and so I'd drive by it all the time and just look at it. This is ridiculous. I'm like, I'd see the Tijuana, Mexico flags. It's ginormous. It's just sitting there waving, and you're like, man, that place looks nice. It looks a little smoggy over there, but whatever.
I wish the border of Afghanistan was like the border of Iran, because that's the only way you're going to bring solitude to the entire country, is to keep the bad guys out. Most of these people just pick a side.
Bad guys are there too.
Yeah, I know, but
there's
it's
bad
going to
guys
be
everywhere.
Yeah, there's bad guys here for sure. I mean, a lot of them hold a public office, but I'm not going to get into that too much.
This guy, I'm not gonna get that. Fuck out of here. Those politicians are bad.
Hey,
That's what he's saying, guys.
I'm a libertarian, so
Me too.
I like not my rights not being infringed on. I think that everyone should suck it up and stop being a pussy.
Okay.
But I do like things like healthcare and things I think that should be provided. But
Bro, we don't have to talk politics, man. That was not my intention at all. So let's skip that. All right. Yeah. So we talked about what matters back then, and we got a little sidetracked on that, but that's fine. So what matters to you now? So now that you're an experienced NCO, you've experienced deployments, you've experienced like the craziest things you could, a person should ever experience, or probably, should ever experience in their lifetime. And now you've moved past that. You've moved past a lot of, hardships. What matters to you right now?
Preventing anyone from doing a stupid thing like suicide. If you're feeling that way, I don't think you're stupid. I think the act is stupid.
I mean, why is it stupid, man? It's just, if there's someone that's in their life, they want their life.
I think that everything is relative, and if you look at your life and you can find the silver lining in the clouds, right? It's always raining when you're depressed.
Man. That's hard.
Yeah, it is very hard. That's why I'm saying, like, you can always reach out to someone, and I can. But here's the thing, though, too, is in today's society, a lot of people get offended when you talk about, like, when they say, oh, I'm going through this is a tough time, and then you bring up a point in time where you went through a tough time, and they're like, oh, you're trying to one-up me. It's like,
For sure. That happens a lot.
I'm just trying to show you, like, hey, I'm an example of someone that's been through more than you, and I'm still here kicking a day. It's like, if you focus on the negative, your life will be negative. If you focus on the positive, your life will always be positive.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've gone through a lot of changes in my life. I used to be a definitely negative type thinker, and it put me into a negative feedback loop, and I continuously ate away at myself until, like, I was just bitter because I was negative all the time. I just complain, and, like, complaining isn't healthy, and so everyone complains around you. It's just terrible.
I would say in country, your complaints are pretty valid, but as an NCO, I couldn't really tell you that. So
no, I mean, like, my complaints in country, I was like, well, I mean, there's only one of me. I feel like my ankle is gonna break, and how much sleep can one person get, and if we're exposed to an IED explosion or too much of a traumatic injury to your head, you're supposed to take some time off as the requirement for the military.
Yeah, and we had no triage plan as far as I'm not saying like as a casualty care plan. I'm saying like as a tertiary and tertiary medic. Right, so I just kind of stepped in. I said, "Hey, I'm going to be the second tertiary medic, secondary medic."
We talked about this pre-deployment. That if I was going to trust someone in the moment who had to pick up where I left off for any reason, we talked about this. You were the guy, and that was communicated amongst the platoon of you're the backup guy. You need to you need to give way to he needs to get what he needs and to do whatever you need to do, because I got faith in you. I saw what you brought your skills to the table. I evaluated and I said, yeah, dude, you could save my life for whoever the hell.
Yeah, thank all you 18 Deltas that put on a course that I'm not allowed to talk about. But that course was awesome. Fucking awesome. I will tell you right now. Was it you or me that brought up the idea of the latex glove underneath the flame retardant glove? Because we had it that
I don't
day
remember what you're
5-0.
talking about, man.
The Battle of the 5-0, we had latex gloves underneath our flame retardant gloves, Nomex gloves.
Oh,
I don't know if it was you or me that came up with that. Yeah, but it was a great plan, and we rolled with it. And that's the thing is, I'm a sergeant. He's a PFC, probably at the time, maybe a specialist. PFC. And I'm just asking, hey, man, what do you think's best? Like, because he's the specialty in medic, I'm the specialty in tactics. So it's like we can learn from each other. It doesn't matter our rank, you know what I mean? Like when I would tell my guys to go pull security, I'm like, hey, go over there and pull security. I'll come check on you in a minute. And I would get pissed off if they're over there just fucking off. It's like, no, dude, I don't need to be like, I'm not trying to throw a lot of shade at infantry guys, but they always say that they're better than us. But we work in smaller units and we do things. Like I teach my guys to think for themselves.
Why such hatred for infantry, man? Like,
because I've got a lot of hate. When I went through War Leader course, there was this guy in a reconnaissance platoon and an infantry battalion, and I outperformed him in every category through WLC, which WLC is total crock of bullshit. It has nothing. It teaches you how to counsel soldiers, which I had learned how to do as a PFC. Don't you have to do that
when you become in like an E5?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a preparatory course, yes, before you become a sergeant. But this guy was like, "We're the real recon,
real deal."
It's like, dude, like I'm outperforming you in PT. I'm outperforming you in counseling. I'm outperforming you in marching. I'm outperforming. I'm every topic, dude. Land navigation, whatever you want to talk about, bro. But you're in a recce platoon and an infantry battalion, so you think you're high speed and you just want to talk shit to scouts. But when you get down range, all the infantry guys we worked with, guess what? They treat us with nothing but respect because they know that we're out there fucking operating too.
Well, I mean, it's just people respect people who can do their job well. That's communicated very well. Like, that speaks volumes.
You know,
like, I don't have to worry about these.
A lot of
people.
scouts,
like, I can treat them as equals.
a lot of scouts are like tankers. They're fat, and I will say that. But I was never.
There's a lot of fat people in the military. Like,
Hey, Sergeant Larkin, he was an 11 Bravo, bro. He was a little big,
he was a bigger individual.
but
Like,
he was
there's
a fucking
there's a
stud.
crazy
He was a
range.
stud. He never complained about carrying his weight. He'd take ammo off guys if they were hurting. That's a real leader. It doesn't
a
matter what your
lovable
MOS
teddy
is. Yeah, he was.
A giant teddy bear.
Once he got to our platoon, he helped us a lot. I have nothing but immense respect for him. He was
my
the
favorite.
guy. We had 2 staff sergeants come to our platoon, and he still treated me as if I was the senior scout, even though I wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, that guy helped me out through a lot during deployment. Like, I looked to him for a lot of advice. You know,
Great
just
leader.
a
I
lot of
hope you're listening.
solitude and knowing that we're in the suck together.
Great leader. Great leader.
I pretty much chilled around him or his trucks. It's just by necessity. I was the medic, and I stick with the platoon sergeant.
I created a formation, our own tactic.
What was that?
It was called the arrow formation. So basically, you have a wedge at the front, so the head of the arrow, so it's like a V, and then you had a file. So in a file, it's a straight line, 5 to 10 meters separation, and then everyone's looking the opposite direction if you take a knee.
How many people in this platoon? How many people go?
Well, it depends on what operations we were doing, but in our platoon specifically, I think we had 22 people most of the times, but most stayed back with the trucks.
How many is in infantry?
30 to 40.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dudes.
Yeah, so we don't operate that way, but basically I created a formation, and if we had night vision on, I would just do this, and it's like an arrow signal to shoot the arrow. So the front platoon's in a wedge, which is like the head of the arrow separated. Everyone else is in a file. If you take a knee, each guy's looking the opposite way of each other, and in the back, I did a diamond with the platoon sergeant and the medic in the middle, which no one had ever brought to the table before, and when I first brought it up to my lieutenant, he's like, whatever you want to do. I was like, yeah, I think it's the best formation because we have somebody watching our 6 the whole time.
So your lieutenant was like, not my idea. You can go with it.
Yeah, he trusted me completely. I mean, I don't
good.
think I
That's
ever
good.
gave him any reason not to.
That's really good. 'Cause, I mean, I've heard many stories about terrible lieutenants. Like, this is the way, and this is the only way.
Yeah, I went to West Point for 4 years. I know more than you.
This motherfucker's not Mandalorian.
Yeah.
This is the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's good.
We had good leadership, man. I honestly believe that. I don't have a ton of respect for certain individuals, but I will say that without them, we wouldn't all be here today.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. There's an integral teamwork of people that we used to, accomplish our mission every single time. Like, if the roster changed, if we were going out on a specific type of mission, like who was best in which position.
If you were coming out to get your combat action badge, you are carrying some heavy shit, and that's because Sargent Jamison said so. You got it?
All right, tell the folks about that.
Yeah, if you were like a lieutenant from the S3 shop, which is the intel shop, or the S1 shop, and you're just an officer out chasing your badge, you're carrying the jammer. I won't go into what it's called, but it's basically a jammer. Okay, so jams radio frequencies.
I won't tell you what it is, but it's a radio jammer.
Yeah, I won't say the actual name of it. It's out there on Wikipedia, thanks to Chelsea Manning or whoever. But
that individual.
yeah,
Interesting. All right, so this jammer. So all right. Anyways, so
It's
people
heavy, and I made
would
him
come
carry
out
it.
to get their combat action badge. So let's
Yeah.
talk about that.
yeah. We got shot at pretty much every day we went out. It was warm, decent out. So they would come out trying to get that. I'd be like, hey, you're carrying this. And they'd be like, what? And I would go to my LT and I'd say, hey, sir, you're the commander of the patrol. And then he would tell them, hey, Sergeant Jameson's telling you what you need to carry. You need to carry it. And they would be falling out halfway, not even halfway into like a ruck.
You call it rock. It was just a movement. We
Movement
moved.
to OP,
place.
observation post. That's usually what we did. As scouts, were trained to be the eyes and ears of the battlefield. And that's what we did for the most part.
Yeah, so we infill during darkness, as we usually do in the military. Infill during darkness, make a movement, and then set up in a place. And then daylight arrives, the village comes to life, wherever place we're on, and then we're there. We just like, hi.
Hey, we
We're here.
got some snipers over there.
Yeah. and so people would come out to get their combat action badge because they knew shit was lit, shit was popping.
We got all the good patrols.
Yeah, for
if you
whatever
want to say
reason.
good patrols.
You say good as in like a chance of action. So for whatever reason, the combat people just really love to get shot at. It's fucking thrilling, apparently.
It's really fun.
I don't agree. I mean, I've been shot at how many times? The first time I got shot at,
183.
this was me. I was laying down like this. Is it over yet? Is it over yet? It's on video, guys. For real. Like, legit, it's on video. Like, when I say, like, my first fight, right? Like, the video's not mine.
It's Tracy's. Yeah.
I was laying down with... No, I was sitting down, drinking some chai tea behind a bunker that we had filled the night before with like 50 or 100 sandbags.
It's called a HESCO barrier. So
it's a big cloth metal thing.
And it has
giant.
4 chambers, and we filled up one of those chambers.
So there's just a bunch of sand in this giant. You know, it's like what 8 feet tall.
I would say, yeah,
tall?
about
8 feet tall.
8.
It's just like it looks like a giant box. Looks like something you'd find on Minecraft.
Yeah.
So there's just things just on top of a hill. There's a bunch of trucks up here, and I'm like, boom, getting shot at. I'm drinking some tea. I spilled my tea. It was horrible.
It's called chai over there.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it's called chai. It's delicious. It's delicious.
Yeah. Have you ever had the chocolate chai?
No.
Iraq had that chocolate chai, boy. Ooh-wee.
I didn't go to Iraq. I wish I did. That
No,
sounds
you
fun.
don't. That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I'm laying there and going, well, this is ridiculous. Why is this happening? Like, I'm in a foreign country, I'm getting shot at. For what? I don't have a helmet, I don't have a gun. I now realize that I spilled my tea, and there's nothing I can do about this situation. I'm thirsty. That's what I remember. I remember laying there, and then...
Where was your canteen at? Your Camelback?
I never had a canteen, and 2, I never had a Camelback.
Dude, I
had
busted so many Camelbacks over there.
Yeah, I had usually 1 to 2 small bottles of water that I kept with me, and I usually ended up giving one of them away because I was a well-hydrated individual.
Yeah.
And knew how to stay hydrated.
I always gave my food away because Lewis.
Yeah. Carrying ammo, can't really carry food.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't blame him. You know, he was a Mark 48 gunner for most of the deployment.
That's heavy. That's a heavy gun.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, Lewis.
I'd carry it sometimes. Yeah, Lewis, I love you, except for the one time you crawled the wrong way. But hey, we're not gonna get into that, dude. I got tons of respect for you, brother. Keep doing your thing.
Oh man, love you, Lewis.
It's an inside jokes.
Yeah,
he knows.
Yeah, that's
Nothing but respect. He knows that.
one day, Lewis, she'll be on here. So, man, I guess that's what matters now to you is
helping people stay alive, helping people overcome adversity, helping veterans especially realize, like, because when I first got out, I remember I told my mom and my family, I said, hey, I don't ever want to pick up a gun again because I had done so much with one and I could not get over it. And I had survivor's guilt from my first 2 deployments because we lost people. And I was like, why am I here? It's like, I'm nothing special.
That's what? That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
I work hard. I do the right things, but I'm like, I wish everyone could have the same mindset that I had. And they couldn't, for whatever reason, because, you know, it's just like being a civilian. Like, if you're trying to climb up a corporate ladder and you get to a certain point, you're like, well, I'm making enough money. I can go have sex with chicks and buy a nice car and do this and do that. You're going to be distracted. And I did that to a point, but I knew when we got to our workup cycle to go to deployments, I was like, hey, it's time for me to buckle down. I got to read books about terrain. I have to understand. I have to lead my men. I want to give a huge shout out to Mel Gibson because you did an awesome job. And we were soldiers once. That's the Air Cav too. So if you think Cav guys ain't shit, and it's funny because if you ain't Cav, you ain't shit unless you're a medic. But you know,
I'm not Cav, so whatever.
He was in a Cav unit, motherfucker. But yeah, man, I want to help people see that the pain that they're suffering is only temporary, and you can get through that. It's like a rainy day. It's like tomorrow the sun could come out, man. You never know. You just have to keep fighting through for that sunshine, and not try to dwell on the darkness.
Yeah, man. Speaking of dwelling on the darkness, let's dwell on a little bit of darkness, man. Like, what is we talking about the survivor's guilt, man? I'm new to this. You don't want to talk about it, man? We could skip.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Because I'm sure other people have questions too.
When someone dies, you think that why not me?
Yeah.
That's a big reason. Like, I honestly think one of the reasons I did the dumb thing I did to myself is because I almost felt like if I give my life for my platoon, That's an honorable achievement. Because I served my purpose. If everyone else comes back besides me, then I served my purpose, and I had made peace with that. And that's how I always thought. But when you lose people, when you could have been the guy that was like, no, I'm fucking going there, you know, and you didn't make that call, or someone else didn't allow you to make that call, and then you survive and they don't, you just feel like shit. It's like, why me? I'm a fucking turd. Look at how I live my life in the civilian world. I just go out and party and fucking do this dumb shit. And that guy was a father of 3, you know, who was a great individual, who's a practicing Christian or whatever, you know, a Muslim. It doesn't matter. They were just a faithful individual who had their head on straight, and I did not. It's like, why am I here? What purpose do I have now? And so it's a good thing and a bad thing, because I took the negative and turned it into a positive, as the military teaches you to do. And that's exactly what I did. I said, okay, well, if I'm fucking still here, I'm going to make sure all these fucking good guys come back. And it made me stronger. It made me better. I took that negative, just as you should do. Something bad happens to you in life, you should take it and use it as a sign of fuel.
So that's what you do, man. Like,
now it took me years and years and years to comprehend how the brain works. Even
so, what? Let's go a little bit on that, man. Let's talk about the survivor skill. Like, so this mechanism that you've done. So like taking in the negative and then overcoming it with a positive. How do you do that? How did you start doing that?
I guess by seeing actual results from me actually focusing on things. So instead of like being, I became less and less of a turd. Okay, so in my civilian life,
what does a turd mean to you?
A turd is like someone who never reads his FMs, never reads his TMs. Yeah.
Techno manual.
Yeah. Someone who never like gets to understand and learn his soldiers. Someone who doesn't understand the strengths and weaknesses of everyone in their platoon, because that's a big thing to me. Is like, dude,
like not knowing your job.
Yeah,
that's like your job.
And that's a big thing with scouts too. Is we teach you 2 levels up, and you need to know and be proficient at 2 levels down from where you're at. And you also need to know. And we have roles
cross
like
training and stuff.
Yeah, cross training. So it's like OJT all the time. I need you to be proficient at this. I need you to, and that's something that I learned as a private, but we didn't implement it well. And so when we lost a couple guys, I was like, no, if this guy would have known how to jump up on that gun and return fire quicker, you know, things would just be different. You take a negative, like you lost some guy, okay, and turn it into a positive doesn't always mean like it's a good thing. You can take that anger and take it out on the fucking enemy. You can do that. I don't have any problem with that, as long as you're attacking with force. You are reacting and making sure that doesn't happen to anyone else again.
I mean, it's an energy you can turn somewhere that you know that's going to be, I mean, for you, turn into a positive result, for them, negative.
A lot of people think anger is bad. I think anger is great as long as you process it correctly.
Yes. It's a tool. It's 100% a tool. Like, you get angry, you know, chemicals change, you turn into a different person, and you need that change to do whatever you're about to do.
Yeah.
You know, some people say, I went black. Some people say, I went red.
Yeah.
I think someone I said turned green. I don't know what that means.
No, I always went red, and then I had tunnel vision. Everything outside of the guy I was trying to kill or the group of people I was trying to kill went black for a split second, and then once I either got them or called in fire on them or understood where they were at, and then you kind of zone back out. There's already be like this ringing in my ears, and I would just zone in, and it was like, I am just so on my fucking game. I imagine it's like a pitcher, like a closeout pitcher in the World Series, and you just whoa, whoa. Strike, strike, strike. You know, you kind of get in those zones sometimes, like you did tonight bowling.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get in the zones. You got to get in the flow. Stud. I call it the flow. I like flow. Stud. I do a lot of BMX things. Like, when you don't got flow, you don't got shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could jam it, you can force it, you could do all that, but like when you got flow,
if you have to force a fart, it's probably shit.
Yeah, sure. Some life advice, guys.
Teaching you the best.
Don't shit yourself.
Hey, we all do it. If you ever eaten that shit in
I
Iraq
have shit myself.
Yeah.
Probably 2 times. Legit 2 times. Maybe 3 times.
Come on, man. Like, you was a baby once. You was shitting yourself.
No. Like, I took a lot of magnesium, trying to like supplement myself. Magnesium. Then I was taking what the fuck is that shit?
Magnesium phosphate.
MCT oil on top of magnesium supplement. That was too much combo. That was fiery. That was a fiery combo. I'm not really a fan of talking about bowel movements, but don't take a lot of magnesium or over magnesium. I took like a 200 milligram supplement, and it was just too much. It's too intense. I mean, it's good for muscle recovery for sure. Like, that's 100% what it's for. But you could definitely kill yourself on this. That's just don't do that. All right, man. So now you focus on what matters now. So looking back, like what is a perspective that you really have now that you didn't have back then that you wish you did?
I didn't have a father growing up, so I never understood what being a man was. And I'm speaking in broad terms, so I don't want anyone to get offended if they identify a certain way or identify.
You're speaking from your singular perspective.
Yeah, my singular perspective.
This is your experience, and this is what your thoughts are in your experience.
Yes. Everything's relative to everyone. But
sure.
I had no idea what a man was supposed to do, how a man was supposed to act. I had a grandpa. He let me shoot a gun when I was like 8.
Mine didn't.
And he was cool, but he was an alky for sure. I know you guys think I am because I'm out here drinking, but honestly, I'm not.
Okay, bro.
If I am, I'm functioning for sure.
A functioning alcoholic. That's like most.
I like
of the
to have
military.
fun, dude. That's how I would explain it, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
young still. I like to have fun.
I've seen a lot of beer contained in the barracks in the military. Like it's a constant thing. So
Some dudes used to drink during PT. When I had to get up for PT, I never drank during the week. Never.
I smell it all the time. I go, whoa.
Yeah, they'd be in formation doing a run. I'd be like, holy fuck. But what are we talking about? I'm sorry.
Perspective, man. Like you over here.
Yeah,
talking
so
about,
I was saying I didn't have a father.
Yeah.
So it taught me how to be a leader of men, how to be a leader in general, how to carry myself. And a lot of people in the civilian world don't know that. So they don't know how to perceive me. So either people really are like, I don't get that guy, or they're like, I fucking hate that guy, or they're like, man, that guy's figured it up the fuck out. And that's how I want to be. It's like, dude, just like, it doesn't matter what you think I am. Come talk to me. That's another thing it taught me, not to judge. Bro, we'd have obese guys, and like in my first couple years in the Army, it's like, dude, if you're obese, dude, you're not being able to carry shit. But then I realized, like, dude, like Mishu, Sergeant Lock, and these guys are fucking PT studs, man, and they're not like looking like, you know.
Yeah,
you
that's
were
something
pretty fucking good at PT. It's not like you had a fucking, you know, ripped ass body back then.
I just can't squat very heavy. Like I got a really pitiful squat. That's it.
Well, that comes with time. I don't even want to squat. You probably squat more than me right now. Honestly, I don't want to fuck my back up.
It's been a while, man. You gotta really work on all the muscles, like not just one or two muscles.
I think core is the most important.
I think all the muscles are most important because they hold you together equally.
True.
Maybe not equally.
I think core and calves if you want to carry heavy shit on your back.
Legs, man.
Core, calves,
Legs,
yeah.
hip flexors. Those are gonna go for a long time. So you're gonna use that for your that's the twitching muscle there. Yeah. So I mean, it's just, you know, perspective, bro. Like,
It's different, for sure. When you come from here, now imagine. Well, I guess you can't really imagine. I guess if you've never been, but if you live in one country your entire life, you've never traveled outside of it.
the same city, no less. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people I
Yeah.
know and then just never left the same city.
Yeah, so,
Like,
so everyone is groupthink.
everybody's group thing.
Yeah, so like it's like this is what we believe. This is our church. This is whatever. This is how it is.
It's small town America right there.
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. But there's some good small towns too. But
Yeah, and there's a lot of values in that. But when
Yeah.
it comes to other stuff, it's just it only gives you a certain perspective.
it doesn't teach you how to adapt and overcome.
No, it doesn't.
Like, and then I grew up in a pretty minority city, which it was great, man. I learned a lot of stuff. I had a lot of fucking great food. Schools were shit though.
You were raised here,
Yeah, I excelled as a student, but I just stopped.
just didn't care.
Yeah, I was like, I'm joining the Army at 17. I had pretty much known that since I was like 13. I was like, I'm going to go do something. I was like, I was either going to be an infantry guy, or I was going to be a scout, or I was going to be 13 Fox, which I think is a forward observer.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to do. And then I didn't even know. I didn't want to be a Ranger or Green Beret or any of those things because I'm a fucking pussy when it comes to heights, man. I mean, I'm aerosol qualified. You know, I did aerosol operations when I was overseas, but once I realized like how different it is when you're actually operating, like you don't really think about that shit. But I wish I would have done that. I wish Afghanistan was my first deployment because I would have came back and I would have been like, man, I'm attacking this shit, dude. I don't want to do this regular Army bullshit. I like the fun of firefights, but I don't like this whole having a 5-minute delay between I get an A10 on station. It's like, dude, SF guys don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, they get different clearance.
Yeah.
They get different. It's just different.
And if you don't believe me, look at the story of the Outpost.
The Outpost.
How long it took them to get air support on station because they're just some regular lowly scouts.
Like their higher preference, I guess, is what the word is. Like they get immediate preference on anything they're doing because like what they're doing is usually high value.
War is business.
They cost more.
Yeah, it costs more to train those guys, and they're more proficient at everything. I'm not going to say that they're not, but
I mean, they train all the time. Like that's their job.
Yeah.
Their job is to be the best.
Yeah, they got ammo. They can go out there.
They had to go to selection.
Yeah.
They had to be selected.
Yeah.
And then a year minimum of training. Minimum, just a year. Just a year.
Yeah,
Badass stuff.
EVE, I'm leaving a letter out, ETT. I told you that once you made E5, then you'd have a much better time getting through selection, and you did. And I'm happy for you, man. I know you're not on social media or anything anymore, but...
oh, yeah, once you go on selection, you just...
Yeah, you were a hell of a soldier for me, brother. And I'm glad that you get to live your dream, dude.
Man, that's interesting. You just disappear. You just poof. You're a different person now.
Yep.
That is a different interesting perk for some people. They're like, I can get away forever.
If I didn't have a daughter and I never did the dumb shit to myself, I would have worked my ass off to do everything I could to be some sort of contractor.
Oh man, yeah, that sounds fun.
I like being rogue. I like being away from America. I love this country. That's why I would go and die for it. Don't get me wrong. But the simplicity of no phone bill, no marriage, no taking care of kids, no time to fucking have off. No, you know, you're just focused, constantly focus. It does take a toll on your mental, but I prefer that. I don't know if that's because I joined the Army at 17. I was indoctrinated into that, but it makes it makes life so much simpler. It's like it's me and the guys around me or the girls around me and everyone around me. And that's it. And you got a common goal, accomplish the mission. Then you get back, then it's prep for the next mission, common goal, accomplish the next mission. I mean, it's a constant. And when you do those kind of things, when you push your body to its limits and you make it out on the other side, you feel proud. You feel a sense of pride.
Yeah, there's no recovering. I mean, there's a different feeling when you have to recover from full body exhaustion. I mean,